Okay, in this video, we'll be looking at a distribution of leads using the sequential method, and I'll explain what that is. Right, so that's the random one that we did previously. In sequential, what happens is I'm going to change this to sequential. Just put as EQ, save and close. We'll be replacing all of these soon. Where you send it to this. You're going to distribute lead here, and then here, and then here, and then keep spreading them across evenly. So each subsequent lead goes to the next page. It goes to the next lead distribution point. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. It requires a bit of a setup, so I'll share with you what to do next. Okay, so before sharing with you how to set this up in LeadsHook, I wanted to go through the three things that are needed to do sequential lead distribution. The first thing is leads count, which is how many leads the decision tree has currently generated, and that's going to be a number that increments with every progressive lead that comes through. Right, so that's going to be a lead count, which is a number that's always rising, starting from 0 through to how many leads the decision tree has generated. The number 2 number of paths, which is how many clients you have, or how many people you want to distribute your leads to. So if you have 5 clients, then your number of paths is 5. The third thing, which which is going to be a small math formula, it's called modulus, which is the remainder after dividing something. 8 modulus 3 is equal to 2. So because 3 goes into 8 2 times, the remainder ends up being 2. So it's 8 minus 6 is 2. So the remainder bit. And if we go through to Excel here, I just want to share with you a general pattern that you're going to see. So say, for example, if I want to distribute only with to 2 clients, then my modulus is obviously going to be 1 and 0, and this just keeps repeating between 1 and 0. And we're going to be using this as a way to distribute the leads, right? So each time basically 1 divided by so 2 divided by 2 is 0. 2 divided by 1 ends up being 1. 3 divided by 2, you have 1 left over. 4 divided by 2, you have 0 left over. So basically just going to alternate between 0, 1, 0, 1. Similarly, if you look at the 3 number pattern, if you want to distribute within 3, it follows the same pattern. It's going to be basically 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, and all the way up. And if you have a look, it's forming a little pattern here, which is when the number here, when you want to distribute to 4 clients or 4 people or 4 paths, it's always going to give you 0, 1, 2, 3. So 4 paths. And similarly with 5, 6, and all the way up to 7. And if you keep going, it'll just keep repeating that. So that's a good thing, because what we need to do is we want to use the modulus formula to tell us where to distribute the lead to. All right, so that's the pattern we're going to follow, and that's what we're going to build with our lead distribution now. Right, so I'm going to go into LeadsHook and show you the steps to do it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is come up with a leads counter. So that's this one here, right there, and it's just a number custom field with nothing in it. So it starts out with 0, and then as the lead passes through, it starts incrementing. Now, as you may be aware or not, LeadsHook has got a sum plus feature. So what I'll share with you what that is by going back to Excel. So in LeadsHook, if you use a number field, over and over again in a subsequent question, it's going to increment the number. So if I put, so let's say for argument's sake, in question 1, let's say that's question 2. If in question 1 in a number field I put the value 4, and in the second one I put the value 6, there's a running total. So after the first question, the number field will have a value of 4. After the second question, it'll have a value of 10. So we're going to be using that. Now, if you're always incrementing by 1, then your lead count is just going to keep adding 1. So each time a new lead comes through, you're going to see it increment by 1. So after 10 leads, it'll have 10, because all it's doing in this case is going to be 1, 2, and so it's going to be 1 here and 2 here, and if that's 1 again, that's going to have 3, and so on and so forth. So with each prospective lead, the number just keeps increasing. But that's if you use it on a per decision tree level. LeadsHook has got a very special feature, which is for counting across all decision trees, right? It forms, technical word is an array, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. That's the lead counter for everyone, and all it is the summation of the lead counter. And if you get that by clicking that little icon over there, right? So that's going to show you the value of everyone who's gone through the decision tree. All right, so that's the all. We selected all results. It turns the custom field to look not just at the lead but across the decision tree. So this means your lead counter will increment across each lead when they go through the decision tree. I hope I'm making sense here. If this looks a little bit complicated, it's because it requires a little bit of math and a little bit of understanding that this is a very special feature of LeadsHook. We can count across each prospective lead that comes through your decision tree. And I've selected include partial results in this case. Right, so what are we going to do here in terms of how do we use this? Pretty simple. It's going to show you what to do now inside LeadsHook. So on the very last question that you might have, let me set this up first actually. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the leads counter, which is this field right over here. And it's just a basic number field. I'm calling it leads counter. You can call it whatever you want. The second thing wanted to show you was the leads counter everyone. And so I haven't used that. It's just a number field at the moment, but I'm going to show you how to create that. So it's going to be a calculated field. The first thing we do is we press that little button there. I'm going to say include partial results. It won't make too much of a difference, but I'm just going to include it anyway, and I'll show you what that means. Include partial results means this includes results for people who are not complete leads yet. So someone who just lands on your main page. But because we're going to be incrementing just before they get distributed, whether you click this on or off doesn't matter. All right, so I'm just going to leave it on just for the purposes of making sure that we don't miss anything, but you don't have to. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and show you what to do. I'll go right to the end over here and go beans counter leads counter, which is this one here. So when we click that, after we've selected this button, and if we click any lead, you see how it adds an underscore all underscore, and what that shows is that it's going to calculate the counter across every lead that comes across the decision tree, and we're going to put a sum in front of it, bracket, so that it includes the summation of all of them. So this is going to give us a count of leads that are passing through our decision tree. Percentage, which is the modulus sign, and let's say, for example, if we are distributing to 4 people, then we're going to have 4 over here. If you're distributing to 7 clients, have it over here. If you're distributing to 25 clients, you would have that over here. I'm just going to do 4 for the purposes of this calculation. Right, so that's done. Next thing, what I'll do is I'll show you what I'm doing. Is I've just added a decision node, which only does one thing. It just increments the counter by 1. Right, so that's going to increase the counter by 1. This field here, which is that one there, will calculate all of those people who've gone through the leads counter, and so it will sum across the decision trees and all the leads, and then do a mod 4, percentage 4, which is going to do basically this column here. Right, so we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 0 is what we're going to see. All right, so that's what I'm going to show you what to do next as far as the distribution is concerned. Right, so then we have our sequential distribution point here, and that's going to be, I'm going to delete all of those because that's from the previous example. And this is going to be, the first one is going to be a custom field. That's going to be mod 1, and it's going to be leads underscore, whoops, and it's going to be leads counter, it's that field there, equals 1, and save, clone that, edit, and go 2. Okay, so that's 2, and clone that again, which is 3, and that's right over here, 3, and the final one is going to be 0. So everybody else who does not fit into 1, 2, and 3 are going to go to the 0 path, which we have a look here. It follows 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0. So as the counter increases, which we can see over here, it's going to go through, do this calculation and work out whether it's mod 1, 2, 3, and it's going to distribute that. So with each, so as the counter increases, it's going to create this mod of 1, 2, 3, 0, sorry. And then when it gets to the 5th lead, it's going to go back to 1, and then so on and so forth until, however big the lead counter gets. So that is how we're going to distribute the leads in a sequential manner. Right, so now I'm going to show you that's going to be page 1 is going to be page A, 2 is going to be page B, 3 is going to be page C, and D is going to be page, and the third option of 0 is going to be page D. So let's have a look here. Right, we don't want our random number generator, so I'm just going to quickly add the other fields. The first one is going to be leads underscore, because we're going to have we have a counter and we have a modulus. So that's the one we're interested in, just to confirm that everything is working properly. I don't really need that because that's just going to show 1, and I'm going to go ahead and just copy that, and D goes over here. Right, so that's going to be C, replace, by the way, I'll be sharing this as a to you as a zip file, so then you don't have to worry about doing a lot of this stuff. Just copy and paste it and follow the pattern. Okay, so that's done. I think we're good to have a test actually. So 1, 2, 3, 0. Right. I'm going to go ahead and what I'll do first is I'm going to add the same fields over here. So that's going to be that's my field, just to show you the incremental value. And what I'm also going to show you is the leads counter. Which is leads counter. I already created a field called leads counter everyone, which I'll show you in a second. So it feels a little bit complicated, but it's not. It just shows you kind of like the flexibility that you have with LeadsHook. So leads counter everyone, which is right here, and all that is the same field, just summing up the counter, including the partial results. Right, so let's go ahead and test this now, and I'm going to go ahead and save. Now if you preview this, okay, so this is where you have to do test in after publishing, because if I just preview this now, it actually won't show any values for the simple reason that that the custom fields are not used, right? So let's go ahead and make the appropriate adjustment. I can see that there's already an error there. That looks like I removed a curly bracket by mistake. Okay, I think that's done. All right, save and close. Now let's publish it. Actually, here's what else I'm going to do is add in the leads counter for everyone. So leads underscore counter everyone. There you go. Always click twice. One is the value and the other is the label. Let's just makes it easy just to do that, copy and paste. Right, so I won't make you watch that. I'm just going to pause it now before I run the test. Last page now, so I'm just going to save and close. So all the updates have been done. We can see the values as they're going through. I'm going to go ahead and publish this now. And let's see the direct link version of it. Okay, so you can see it's 0 and 0, which is correct. So I'm going to go yes, and there you go, 1 1 1. So it ended up at D. Is that correct? Let's have a look. Yep, so it was correct because it incremented after this. So what we can do is we can move this further up in the, actually, you know, I'll leave it so that way we don't confuse ourselves. So we saw page D. Next thing we should do is see page A. So let's, right, so there you go. Mod 1, that's from the previous. Go ahead and go do, say, there you go, page A. Okay, so you can see the values increment. If I refresh this, so now I've come from there, I've come to here. If I run it again, yes, and now I'm going to see page B, which is this one here, and the next one should be page C. But you can see it's working, right? So that's the main thing. And go yes, so there you go, page C. And if I do this again, I'll go back to page D. Perfect. Right, so everything's working. You can see the lead counter is incrementing. I'm at 5 now because I've already gone through one cycle. And the entire thing works really well. So just to recap, and I know I had to cover a little bit of theory about this math stuff, but there's no need to know this except to realize that there are 3 steps basically to this process. The first one is a lead counter, and then the number of paths to decide. You need to add a modulus formula, and basically you're going to be summing up the leads and then rotating them through this process that increments the lead counter and that distributes the lead based on the field which is leads counter everyone underscore modulus. And I hope that gives you a good understanding of what that is. I know I did cover a bit of theory. It's a little bit geeky and mathy, but I think you can see the power of this, which means you can do so much more with this. And the pattern to follow is basically this. So if you're going to do 7 clients, then it's a matter of just coming up with 1 through to 0, which is just changing the formula. So let's say if you are doing 7, what would you do? Okay, so I'll share with you what to do here, which is going to basically you change nothing, right? Nothing changes except the leads counter everyone modulus field or modulus formula, and rather than dividing by 4, you're going to go divide by 7, and that's all you're going to do. All right, rest of it stays the same. So I'm just going to cancel, and this is end of this example where you are sequentially distributing leads in this specific order from starting from D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, and it's going to keep going around and around and around, right? and look forward to getting any questions about this if you have any. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I'll be sharing with you distribution based on answers. Thanks, and chat soon.